Namo Amida Butsu. It's been a while since I've made a video. I've been going through a lot of changes in my life. I've had some health issues. I'm okay. I'm dealing with them. And I've had some positive changes in my life, in my personality, in my healing, my personal growth. This has caused me to go deep within myself, to look at the why of why these things have been going on in my life, all through my life. The narcissistic abuse I was raised with, the bullying at work and in society. Empaths deal with this a lot. Empaths become targets for people who are angry and insecure. And that includes empaths who are vegan. And if you are a vegan, and I don't mean some narcissistic influencer with a plant-based diet. That's not a vegan. A vegan is someone who practices true veganism. True veganism is based on, is living with compassion toward all sentient beings. Making conscious decisions based on how it affects others, not just ourselves. You know, I like the taste of bacon. I like my fried chicken. I like my all beef burgers. Well, I grew up on that stuff and I like that taste, and that's why I get Beyond Chicken. That's why I get Boca Burgers. That's why I get, tempeh bacon. That's why one of the things that kept me from becoming vegan for the longest time was my love of cheese. I love the flavor of cheese. I ate some vegan cheese this morning. I ate it for lunch. I made me some spread out of vegan cream cheese and vegan American cheese and unmeat, which is basically canned meat, which I mixed with vegan mayo. I have those flavors without murder because I'm a vegan. And among the changes I've gone through in my life, and this is why I hadn't made a video in a while, or made a few videos and took them down, is because I've never been at this place in my personal growth before. Now, my faith is my faith. I'm at the point of non-retrogression. I'm a person of what is known in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism as Shinjin. That means I have entrusted myself and my karmic destiny to Amitabha Buddha. That is the same. And the Buddha influences me on how I live my life. And if I take myself seriously as a Buddhist, and I'm talking about myself, I must remember that at the end of his life, Shakyamuni Buddha said, all disciples. I give you this mandate. All disciples will abstain from the eating of animal flesh. I am a disciple of the Buddha. First and foremost, a lot of vegan channels mock you if you're religious. That's their problem. It also makes me question how vegan they are. If they're judging other people according to their religion, if they're judging people, and I'm not talking about religions that, participate in the slaughtering of animals. I'm talking about believing in a God or believing in unseen beings like gods and Buddhas and angels or whatever. I can only focus on me, my spiritual beliefs. But I have to consider that I share this world with others. And part of the sharing involves me sharing this world with people who are bullies, who are cruel. I recently have been dealing with ageist bullying. And basically what that is younger people in society deciding that you are no longer important, you have no rights, they should be entitled to treat you however they feel because they think they're younger. That makes them smarter, more attractive, and more important as a human being. A lot of people feel that way. It's called narcissism. It's called psychosis. It's called hypocrisy. It's called ageism. It's called judging another person because they're not like me. And it's wrong. By the same token is cognitive dissonance worldwide concerning the rights, well-being, and happiness of animals, non-human animals in particular. This is a dog, this is a cat, this is a bird, this is a fish, this is a cow, a pig, this is a silkworm. Hey, I know, I'll capture this being and raise it for the sole purpose of what I can get from it. Its wool, its flesh to make leather out of, its fur, its skin to make clothes out of, even though it's totally unnecessary in this day and age. We're not cavemen and women. We're not living out in the rocks in a cave, having to slaughter animals to eat their flesh and wear their skins. But yet there are a lot of ignorant people who say, yeah, well, what about the cavemen? Are you a caveman? Do you shit in the woods? Or do you go to the bathroom and wipe yourself? Do you take showers? Do you wear clean clothes? Well, then why are you comparing yourself to someone that didn't have any of that? If I choose to torture another being, I'm creating that karma. If I choose to support an industry that raises and farms, I hate that word, farms other animals for their flesh, for their eggs, for their children, and I can just support this organization that casually kills animals, tears calves away from their mothers so that the mothers can continue to produce milk, and then kill the calves and sell them as veal. Farm sheep for their wool and then slaughter them. That's evil. And these people that come up during on-the-street interviews from people like Joey Carbstrong and others, eating chicken, munching down on an all-beef burger or a hot dog just to be a childish adolescent asshole. And many of these people are not adolescent. They're old enough to know better than to act like undisciplined children. When you're that kind of a person, you're a bully. And let me explain to you what a bully is, since I've been dealing with bullying since I, as of the making of this video, turned 65. A bully is someone who has a very fragile, insecure ego. And they cover up that ego by tearing down others that they feel are happy or genuine or have self-confidence. Or as anybody exposes their hypocrisy, their first reaction is to attack that person, either through lies, manipulation, constant put downs, which is called devaluation. That means to make that person look like they are of less value in the eyes of others. It's called public shaming. And it's a cowardly, childish way of treating another person. Most people attack vegans and judge vegans and ridicule vegans because they know you should not be, in this day and age, paying and propping up industries that engage in torture, murder, infanticide, rape, cruelty. But you know what? You're not going to change these people. You can tell them, and you can tell them directly. And of course, once you do, they'll almost guaranteed double down, triple down, quadruple down, and attack you. Because some people are just stupid. But that can't define you. Your job is not to force these people to understand compassion, because these people don't have compassion to begin with. A narcissist, someone who lacks empathy and compassion, is all about being right, even if they're totally wrong. Their whole life is based on supporting an image and facade. There are corporations that are narcissistic. The meat, egg, and dairy industries are narcissistic. They gaslight with bullshit. Gaslighting is creating a false narrative, out and out lying, because they don't care about truth. Just like the bullies I've had to deal with, they don't care about truth. They care about their sense of entitlement. I'll do what I want. I'll treat others the way I want. I'll eat what I want. And fuck you if you say I shouldn't do it. And I'll attack you for it because you don't agree with me. Hell, in this day and age, they take it to the point where they'll try to end your life if you don't agree with them. I'm shocked when I look at the news and I see how many family members, co-workers, people on the bus, people on the subway, just how casually people murder. Part of this is due to overpopulation. Part of it's due to the tearing down of values in our society. And no, I'm not political. I don't support the left or the right. I think politics is bullshit. And I've removed myself from American politics altogether. So don't even bother putting me in that box. And that's the problem. A gaslighter, a bully, a narcissist wants to put you in a box so they can label you, so they can strip you of your value and your human worth, make you look crazy, call you names like out-of-date 60s hippie tree hugger and other things. When in fact, it doesn't matter what label you put on another person. Murder's still murder. Torture's still torture. Cruelty's still cruelty. And empathy and compassion are still empathy and compassion. And you have to decide what you're going to lean into. I've become aware that in the midst of the chaos of this world, I can lean into my empathy and compassion. I can choose to ignore people. That doesn't mean tolerating. I've learned about setting boundaries, and I think people like Joey Carbstrong and others have made it very clear. You have to set boundaries to how far down into the toilet society can go. And say, look, this is wrong. If you don't like looking at it, then you shouldn't support it. If you don't like seeing cows being tortured, tormented, abused, beaten, if you don't like pigs being put in horrendous conditions and then gassed, suffocated to death, if you don't like seeing chickens and turkeys hanging by their feet and having their throats slit as blood trails everywhere on a conveyor belt, don't support it. Don't be a hypocrite. And that's what veganism is all about. It's about practicing compassion. Now, 99.9% of the people around me are not vegan. I don't attack them. But I adhere to my lifestyle. I don't preach, but if you ask me about why I'm a vegan, I'll tell you. Just like if you ask me why I'm a Buddhist, I'll tell you. And to you Buddhists out there, to you vegans out there with podcasts, with platforms, with a lot of followers, I have unsubscribed from a lot of vegans who attack people who are religious. It's okay for you to be an atheist or a nihilist and be a vegan. But I would urge you, for the sake of unity among vegans, not to attack others and mock them because of their belief system. Please do not sell your lack of faith as a prerequisite for being a vegan. Just like I want to make it clear, just because I am Joshi the Buddhist Vegan, and that is the name of my YouTube channel that you are watching right now, that does not mean that I am saying if you're not a Buddhist, or if you're not religious, or if you don't believe in a higher power, that you can't be a true vegan. That's not true. You can be a Christian, a Muslim, an atheist, whatever, a communist, whatever, it doesn't matter. Buddhism is about compassion. Myself personally, I base that on my personal faith. People say, well, you can only be Buddhist, you can only be vegan for the animals. And that's true. Because ultimately, because out of respect and love for the Buddha, I realize that these animals They were me in a previous life. I was one of these animals. Pick an animal, any animal. Once you personalize it, once you go within and you realize, I have no right to be entitled to feel that if you're not like me, if you don't have the features of me, if you don't have my skin color or my belief system or my mental capacity, if you are a squirrel or a dog or a cat or a fish or a chicken, I do not have the right to feel entitled to use you and to kill you and to eat your flesh, wear your skin, wear your wool. You're not a product, you're a living being. That's called empathy. That's called compassion. And if I choose not to face the fact that these beings have feelings, they feel pain, they're suffering, then I have to understand that if I don't see that they have worth, that I'm going to start to view others the same way. That's narcissism. That's when you look at someone and you say, I don't really care about you. You're just here for what you can do for me. You're here, everything's contractual for the narcissist. And I will not prop up a narcissistic industry that commits infanticide, rape, murder, and torture. These are businesses whose job is murder. In selling dead corpses for money and profit. I'm not going to participate in that. This has caused me to understand that just as I have worth, as I go into my later years, I should be respected more, not less. I've endured things few people have or would ever be able to. And vice versa. Other people have endured things I may not have necessarily been able to endure had I encountered them. We all have worth. We all have importance. Regardless of who we are, what our sex is, what color our skin is, our hair, our eyes, whether we're human or non-human. The only justification, in my opinion, for murder would be self-defense if someone's trying to murder me. But not just murder. I have no right to be cruel to another human being. I have no right, therefore, to be cruel to a non-human being. If you practice cruelty, if you devalue another being because they're not you or they're not like you, you're going to answer for that karma. And as a Buddhist, I believe that. You can choose to believe it or not. It's called the law of cause and effect, and what you send out comes back to you, positive or negative. I choose to walk in positivity and love. I worship the Buddha of infinite light and life, Amitabha Buddha. I choose not to live my life in ignorance, hatred, and negativity because I want to die happy. I want to live the last years of my life happy. Like I said, I want to be that smiling old man, not the contrary old bastard that is the problem. And so just keep that in mind. Once again, I love you guys. Namo Amida Butsu. I give praise to the Amitabha Buddha, the Buddha of infinite light and life. May we walk in peace, love, compassion, and empathy toward all sentient beings. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.